Hello, so today I am here to talk about human development in the stage of infancy. So let's get started. So I will begin with brain development. This happens at a rapid pace in infancy. The size of the neurons, the complexity of the neural branching, and a number of glial cells produce a brain growth spurt during infancy. At birth, the brain weighs only about 25% of its adult weight. By age 1, it has grown to 70% of its adult weight. Plasticity is very important during this time because during the growth spurt period, the brain growth spurt period, it allows infants and children to, if need be, recover if there's any type of brain injury. Neurons in the brain of the newborn average about 2,000 to 500 synapses, increasing to a peak of about 15,000 by the age of 2 or 3. The neonatal period. This is described as the first month of life and is very special because the baby has to adjust to life outside of the womb. The infancy period is from about 4 weeks to a year. Infants have 6 states of arousal as proposed by Peter Wolf: waking activity, crying, alert inactivity, drowsiness, regular sleep, and irregular sleep. So if you're watching a newborn baby, these are the types of things that you will see. The physical and motor development stage of infancy. There are Giselle scales that really are the first detailed reports of the capabilities of average children at the different ages and phases as they grow. The first 4 months, infants have nearly doubled in weight. Their bodies have started to lengthen. They are getting their permanent hair. Their eyes can focus, and they're able to hear better. They also get their first tooth around 4 to 5 months, and they start to engage in self-discovery. 5 to 8 months, fine motor skills develop. Those skills involve the use of the hands and fingers to perform intricate movements. Gross motor skills also develop. Those involve the larger muscles, where babies are able to stand, and at 9 to 12 months they can stand alone and start to take steps, and they're also 3 times heavier at this phase. They start to also learn to play games. They begin to feed themselves and can open and close cabinets. So childproofing is important, and they can also turn on the TV. Cognitive development. Cognitive development. Cognitive development refers to the growth and refinement of intellectual processes, the thinking, the learning, perceiving, remembering, and understanding. So this is a very important period in an infant's life. The sensorimotor period described by Piaget is the first period of cognitive development from birth to 2 years. Adaptation is one of those processes in which the infant develops schemes. They're elaborated, modified, and developed. Adaptation involves assimilation and accommodation. So what they already know, they're able to accommodate and things and adjust to changes. So also at this time of development, they're able to understand object permanence, meaning that the baby is able to understand at about 8 months that when objects are out of sight, they do still exist. Deferred imitation is where the baby can actually imitate something that occurs hours or even days earlier. Symbolic representation is the use of a word, picture, or gesture, or other sign to represent past or present events, experiences, and concepts. Personality and social development. That is the fun part. where you're able to see the individual characteristics and personalities of the infant. These are the beliefs and attitudes and ways in which the infant interacts with others. Their temperament is an inborn characteristic that the baby has, and it is the way that they interact with the world around them. So if you think your baby is shy or moody or playful, these are all temperaments, things that are inborn. Attachment is another part of the personality and social development, and that is an emotional bond that is established between infants and their moms. There are different types of attachments. There is the secure attachment, which is very good. It is a secure emotional bond between a child and a caregiver, and it develops because of the responsive caregiving, someone that is very active in their care for the infant. Now, another kind of attachment that is not secure is an insecure attachment, and that's the result of inconsistent or unresponsive caregiving that the infant is receiving. Another type of insecure attachment would be the resistant attachment, and that's characterized by an infant that may be angry or avoid the mother because they're not getting the care that makes them feel secure in that bond. Avoidant attachment is another insecure attachment that is characterized by ambivalence toward the mother. So maybe the mother isn't the primary caregiver, or they're not giving consistent care, and the baby is not secure with them, and they're kind of like, I don't really know who you are. Okay, and then we have disorganized, disoriented attachment. It's an insecure attachment that is characterized by contradictory behavior. So maybe one moment the baby knows who the mom is, and the other moment they're confused, they're not sure who you are. But that is, again, an insecure attachment because of the inconsistency or the unresponsive caregiving. So the reciprocal nature of attachment is a view proposed by John Bowlby of an interactive nature of biology-based and social forces when the attachment is developing. Synchrony is the back and forth interactions between an infant and a caregiver. So Bowlby stages of attachment. So from birth to 2 months, attachment is present, but it's diffuse. They're not quite sure who they're attaching to. At 2 to 7 months, attachment becomes more focused on the primary caregiver, usually the mother. At 7 to 24 months, attachment starts to form with other significant other caregivers. They start to develop maybe with, auntie or dad or big brother, big sister. At 24 months, there is an increasing cognitive and social development that allows the child to take others' feelings and perspectives into consideration. So they start to understand empathy. They start to relate to other people and their feelings and their emotions. And they use these to form social attachments. So Erickson goes further and he starts to describe attachment, the relationship between attachment and trust. So trust versus mistrust, according to Erickson, is the first critical development issue in the first year of life. Stranger and separation anxiety is an infant's fear of strangers or being separated from their caregiver. Both occur in the second half of the first year and indicate in part a new cognitive ability to respond to differences in their environment. Discrepancy hypothesis is a cognitive theory stating that around 7 months, infants acquire schemas for familiar objects. When a new image or object is presented that differs from what they're used to, or the old one, the child kind of experiences a little anxiety and they're uncertain of what's going on when you introduce new things into their environment. Social referencing, these are subtle emotional signals, usually from the parent, that influence an infant's behavior. So if you as a parent are uncomfortable with someone or something that is around you, the infant will pick up on that and they will react and feel that tension. So those are a lot of the milestones that infants experience during their growth, and those are some of the major stepping points or stones within their life. All right, thank you for listening. Goodbye.